There are two teams, Autobots.
Oh yeah, Autobots and manual bots.
He sounds like auto-tune.
Hey guys, it's DT back with another monstrous Transformers video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newly released XM Studios Soundwave. We've already taken a look at the Optimus Prime, the Starscream, the Megatron, the Bumblebee, the Grimlock, and now we have another fan favorite Decepticon. Here we have the G1 toy inspired box with this nice grid design, a nice Transformers logo here on the side, and then we have all the stats here on the end. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get this big box open. Okay, before I unbox this thing, I have to give a shout out to my buddy Benjamin over at Cosmic Chase Collectibles. He helped me get this thing over from Singapore. If you guys are looking for XM Studios pieces, I highly recommend checking out his website. He offers some of the best express shipping rates in town. We've got the black XM envelope, no art print with this one. So we do get a picture of the contents and a QR code of the assembly video. Okay, let's get this guy out of the box. Okay, and here's what we get on that top layer. We've got a bunch of Soundwave's cassettes, a couple different chest plates, and a few arms. We also have a portrait and a hand. Here is a look at one of his arms. As you can see, we've got a very deep blue, different than the blue that we've seen on Optimus Prime and on Starscream. Again, tons of detail on these Transformers pieces. And then we've got these big keys with the support peg. So we got three different arms. Let's take a look at some of his cassettes. Here we have Laserbeak, very cool. I'm not used to seeing these guys so big. You know, the cassette was yay big, and when you transformed them, they weren't much bigger once you spread the wings out. This guy's got some really good size. Here's my hand for some scale comparison. Again, we got some great detail on the back there. He comes with one leg already installed. Then we've got Ravage over here. He's got a very cool dynamic leaping pose, and he just keys in right there on his knee. And then we have Rumble over here, or Frenzy. There was a little confusion when these guys first came out. In the toy version, Rumble was red and Frenzy was blue, and then in the animated series, they kind of changed them around. Depending on what you were looking at, whether it was a toy, whether it was a cartoon, whether it was a comic book, Rumble might have been red or blue. And here, I'm guessing they made him red so he would contrast a little better with Soundwave. Here is Soundwave's shoulder cannon, and I see Laserbeak's other leg there. Some very nice intricate details in there. Some nice weathering. Got some spikes there on the end. I don't remember those spikes being there on the original G1 version, but that's what XM does best. They make these little additions that just make the character a lot cooler, in my opinion anyway. We even have a little hydraulic detail right there. Just like Grimlock, we only get one portrait. I guess there's not too much you can do with a Soundwave portrait since he is masked, but extra options are always good. As you can see, not your traditional G1 Soundwave. He's got much more detail. He retains the general Soundwave head shape. He does have a light up feature. Pull this off right here, and there's a little space for some batteries. Let's go ahead and stick those in. There's a little button right here. We press it, visor lights up, and we just stick the top of his head back on. We definitely get the nice red color coming through. Here we have his right hand with a gun, and this gun appears to be Megatron. We also got Starscream holding Megatron, and we also have Megatron. So I'm not sure if I'll be using that. We can see some really nice detail in that scope and in the gun itself. And then we have a couple different chest options. Here we have one for the closed chest. It's got some protective plastic on it. I'll go ahead and remove that. Very clean piece of plastic here. And this one is if you want to display him with the closed chest. Got some nice bronze and gold details around the sides. Nice Decepticon insignia there in the middle. And this has got a couple keys and a rod as well. Our other option is to display him with Rat-Bat. Here's a look at his face. Here he is, sort of half in cassette form, half in bat form, as he is emerging from Soundwave's chest. A little more dynamic with this version. We'll see it all put together in a bit. We've got some little miscellaneous pieces, armor, flaps that will go on somewhere. We've got a couple of these little bronze gun-like pieces. We've got a little eject button. Not sure where this goes. There is an even smaller eject button. I'm guessing this one goes on the proximity piece. So that's pretty much what you get in the top layer. Let's go ahead and see what we have underneath. Okay, and here's what we get in that second layer. We got Soundwave, the base, the proximity piece, the base of the proximity piece, and we also have our little plaque here. So these went to the early bird orders. If you ordered yours before the cutoff date, Decepticon Soundwave limited edition. Here we have Soundwave's body. It comes with one leg attached, just like all the other Transformers pieces. This guy is very heavy. Now check out all the detail there. This is what makes this line my favorite statue line to collect. Amazing detail everywhere you look. Fantastic sculpt and paint. We've got a keyhole for his head to fit in, keyholes for his arm, and then we come down to this massive leg. Down at the bottom of his left foot, we have a big key and peg, and we've got his right leg separate. Same great detail in that. Here we have Rumble's pile drivers. We've got his arms attached. We also get a left hand with a giant cannon. This thing is heavy as well. This is not some light plasticky gun here. And then we've got an empty hand. The empty hand, I believe, is pressing the eject button, allowing Ratbat to come out. I would like to show off that gun, but if this makes more sense, maybe we'll use this. I don't know. We have our proximity piece bases. We've seen these little hexagons before. They've got the felt bottom. This is our alt mode proximity piece. This is Soundwave in cassette player mode. Go ahead and remove this. This is not huge, but it does have some really good weight to it. I believe this one is the smallest one that we've seen, but definitely does not lack in the details. And finally, we come to the base. If you guys have seen some of my other Transformers unboxings, you'll know that these bases get pretty huge. This one, although not the biggest, is still pretty big. All right, and here it is. Again, we've got sort of this Cybertronian ship or something. All the little mechanical elements in there. We also have that volcanic rock as well. The rock looks a little bit smooth. You can see that nice color variation in there. Looks like a big engine here on the back. Got the big tank treads. We have these claws kind of emerging from the ground. We'll get a closer look at this thing once this guy is all assembled. And then finally, we have one last hand. This is a pointing finger.
Soundwave #1.
There you have it. That was the contents. Let's go ahead and bring this over to the table and put this guy together. So here we have the fully assembled Soundwave. There is a lot going on with this statue, so let's get right into the review. Once again, we have this very Cybertronian-inspired base. We don't see that hexagonal pattern that we commonly see in these Transformers bases, but we do have some metal wreckage along with some of that volcanic rock. Very nice paint and detailed sculpt in a lot of these mechanical elements. Here we have what looks to be a fallen robot of some sort. We can see an engine, very nicely done tank treads. I believe there was an Autobot tank named Warpath, but he was red. Obviously, they went with the muted colors here to not detract from the main statue. We've got some claws coming out here in the back as well. That's kind of infused in this rock. And then what makes this piece super unique is all the other little micro cassette characters that we have here. We've got Rumble right here in front. As I mentioned before, this is the red Rumble, the original G1 toy color, but I think the red works best here to not blend in too much with the blue on Soundwave. If you're more into the G1 cartoon, you can just call this guy Frenzy. I mean, they basically look the same. He's kind of looking up, ready for battle. The pile drivers are out. Ravage is looking pretty cool as well. He's got a very dynamic leaping pose as he leaps over Soundwave's right leg. It looks like he's kind of jumping right at you. Then up on top here, we've got Laserbeak. His left leg or talon is connected to Soundwave's cannon, so you really don't have an option not to display him. Might have been better if they had that entire leg be removable, but I'm sure having this design makes it a lot more stable. He's kind of got an angled flight path with one wing dipped down. Looks much cooler than that G1 toy version that I used to have. And then finally, we've got Ratbat here coming out of the chest. He's not fully formed, just kind of his head is coming out as his lower body is still in cassette mode. I don't think I ever owned Ratbat. He came a little bit later. I believe Soundwave came with Buzzsaw, which was pretty much just like Laserbeak. Then we had a 2-pack where Rumble came with Ravage and Frenzy came with Laserbeak. And then later on, they did away with Laserbeak, and then they shipped Ratbat, I believe. Now let's get into the big boy himself, Soundwave. This guy looks amazing. Really love this blue color here. Of course, we've got all the great details in here that we've come to expect with this Transformers line. I love that we get hints of all these transformed elements. We've got the reverse and forward button along with all these other little buttons. We've got the big clear cassette screen here with the Decepticon insignia. It's a little bit harder to see on this version right here with Ratbat. I really like how they have this arm positioned with his hand pushing on the eject button. Very nice sculpt on the fingers of both hands. A lot of energy going through that pointing finger as well. The only problem I have with this pose is it's kind of reminiscent of that Usain Bolt pose. I know Usain Bolt is not pressing an eject button on his chest. However, this just gives me those vibes. So if I was to use this pose, I probably wouldn't use the finger pointing option for that reason. But luckily, they have another option. This one is the hand holding Megatron. So let's go ahead and swap that out. Just goes in there like that, and that looks really cool. But I don't know if I'm gonna be displaying the gun. It doesn't really make sense because I've got Megatron standing in the display as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other options here. One of those options is to remove Ratbat here if you don't like the cassette door being open. It probably does have a tendency to collect a little bit more dust having this open like this. And the inside of the window here might get a little dusty as well. I'm gonna go ahead and remove it and see what it looks like without him. This one just keys in the same way. I think this just gives a cleaner look. You can still have his hand pressing the eject button as if something was in here and it's about to come out. Here's a look with the pointing finger. And then finally, we have an alternate arm, and this one is the one that's holding this gun. The gun comes separate from the arm. We just stick it in here like so. Give him his hand. So if you don't like that finger up there on the eject button, this is a very cool option. And then finally, we have the alt mode proximity piece. Here he is, Soundwave in cassette recorder mode. Of course, Soundwave is able to shrink down. You do have to add this little eject button, very heavy weight and a lot of mechanical details for being a cassette recorder. If you look closely, you can see how Soundwave transforms. He kind of does the splits where his legs go up to his sides. This one rests on only two of these little coaster things. just like that. I would be tempted to just put it on the ground. It looks a little bit more natural. So now what I thought I'd do, it's always fun to show the family and get their reactions to these pieces, especially since they don't know a lot about Transformers. So I'm gonna go get them, bring them down one by one, and they'll tell us what they think of Soundwave.
This looks cool.
What do you think he transforms into?
I don't know, a truck. That is a motorcycle. Well, it says eject, so it's probably a car or an airplane or something.
A car has an eject button?
I was gonna say it's Optimus Prime, but like, it's not. He's got like a bird on him, got like a puma. It's like Optimus Prime's like adopted brother or something. A submarine, underwater vessel. Because there's this thing.
What do we have here? It is clearly a Transformer. I've seen enough of them. The symbol here is a Transformer symbol, the same one that's on your shirt right now.
There are two teams.
There are? Blue versus red?
Autobots.
Oh yeah, Autobots and manual bots.
Oh, what the heck? It's like a radio. It's like one of those weird old-timey CD things. I don't know what it's called, the one that has like tape in it.
Tape player?
Oh, yeah.
The YouTube Rewind. He's got a bird. It's kind of random. He's got animals. I don't know, zookeeper.
What do you
Oh,
think?
a boombox, an actual boombox. So you got like the play buttons and stuff.
He turns into a garbage truck. Am I right? Is it a vehicle? Aren't they all vehicles?
The three little friends transform into the same thing.
What? How? He turns into a television. This looks like a TV.
His name is Soundwave. He's also known as Cassette Man.
See? What's the eject button for?
To eject the cassettes.
Oh, they go inside him?
Yeah.
Why does he have a big old gun? What's the gun for?
Oh, the gun is for shooting people. And
Is
the
it
other gun
special?
in his right hand,
Which one, that?
that should look familiar.
It's like Optimus Prime's pistol or something.
Is this like his little friend? Little mini-me or something? These like round spots look like speakers on his chest.
That's what he transformed
Form?
into.
It's really small. It's like it has the exact same little like murky things. I knew I saw this guy somewhere. Oh, cool. Is that like the little characters here?
Soundwave with tapes. That's what they transform into, those little things?
Yeah.
It's like auto-tune. You can see like the little buttons, and it even like has the eject text on the button, which I didn't notice before.
If I had looked inside better, I could definitely see a cassette.
Oh, that's clever. The little, and then it pops out.
What do you think that one's called?
A goat.
Because goats are very, like, vicious.
A bat.
Alright, that one's kind of cooler, so I can like see that he's like pressing, he's pressing the thing. Ooh, now he's got the red visor.
I like this one.
This is a pretty cool statue. I like it. Very cool. Don't buy any more Transformers, please. There are too many boxes in my garage.
Okay guys, so that was a look at the XM Studios Soundwave. Amazing piece, very excited to add this to the collection. I do have the XM Studios NEMESIS Prime, which I still need to make a video about. That should be coming out probably at the beginning of the year, and then I will show you guys my entire Transformers setup. As always, let me know what you guys think of this guy in the comments down below. Make sure to check out my other channel, DT's Geek Show, for more unboxings and reviews. Evan is currently working on some videos. He'll be back in the next episode.
Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.